Hi, Tim Roye for Warriors.com, and we're welcoming now the new executive board member of the Golden State Warriors, Jerry West. The press conference is done. Of course, you can watch that on Warriors.com, and what a day, an exciting day.
For me, yes. I guess, get back involved in basketball in a little bit different manner, a sport which obviously has been the biggest part of my life and something I still have a great passion for. But also, I think, to be involved with the ownership group here. The people you work with, or I shouldn't say work because I don't view things like this as work. They're kind of a labor of love. Joe and Peter are just two terrific owners. Their enthusiasm is what really struck me. I'd often said I don't think I could ever do this again because when I get involved, I really do get involved. And I think my involvement here will probably better suit my temperament. I'm really hopeful that I can be of some help in terms of giving advice, discussing things, maybe things that I've seen over the years that have really helped me along the way to become a better executive, but more importantly to be able to interact with your staff and try to have the kind of relationship where it's family orientated, where everyone likes each other. You come to work not for a job, but because you enjoy seeing the people you work with.
Well, at what point were you sold on this being a good fit for you?
Well, I'd had a number of talks with Joe and a number of meetings, and one of the things I was most concerned about, because of Larry and Larry Riley and Bob Myers, who will eventually be Larry's successor, I said I would never want to come in and step on their toes in any way, shape, or form. And I said I want to meet with them face to face. And obviously I've known Bob for years being in the agent business. I think he's a tremendous young asset to this team that will grow and set a course for this franchise to be successful for years to come. And Larry I've known for ages, one of the finest people I've ever met. But I really needed to have a sense that they knew I wasn't coming here to be the voice of the franchise. I don't want to be the voice of the franchise. I want to be someone who will help. And after a long talk, a long evening with them, and Joe and Peter and Joe's son and Travis, I was really convinced that maybe this was something I should do. But frankly, it took me a long time to even warm up to it because I wasn't sure if this is something I should do at this point in my life because I still love the game. But I never want to get back to where I go to bed at night and never go to sleep worrying about one play that a player makes that might cost a game. But I'm intrigued by the game, have been all my life.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Larry Riley, and you know, he's very comfortable in his own skin. He's a good man, and he works hard. And what can you do maybe to help him?
Well, just talk about some of the experiences I've had and maybe making trades or. I think everyone, to some extent, no one wants to be criticized. You know, fans will have favorites. Sometimes you trade those favorites and, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end. I think you have to give credit to people who are willing to be risk takers. The risk takers do the best. That's how to build teams today. Obviously, free agency can help if there's a free agent that's attractive. And I don't know why someone wouldn't want to come and play here, to be candid with you. It's a great city and incredible fans. And when you have an ownership group like these two gentlemen and the other people involved, very attractive group, you like to work with people who have enthusiasm. And there's tons of it with Joe and Peter, that's for sure.
No question about that. You know, as you look through, you know, the playoffs this year, you were mentioning how you were on the edge of your seat watching the tense battle between Miami and Chicago. Is that, you know, is it in your blood to the point where you have to be involved somehow, some way?
I feel to some extent I will never get this out of my system as long as I live. But watching those games convinced me that the excitement I felt, because I felt that before as a player, how tough those games are, how grinding they are, who's going to impose their will on another team. And then watching the success that some teams have, that's a very powerful feeling because I've seen both sides of the fence. And I think just watching that one game the other night convinced me, I said, this is what I need to do because I still feel that incredible rush Some people don't feel that. Some people lose it. I've been blessed with a lot of energy and a tremendous love of the game, but also a fierce desire to win.
Of course, all the fans here on Warriors.com would love to know, and you mentioned the press conference, that you think the Warriors are close to being where they want to be.
Absolutely. I think they're very close. When you look at their team, I think there's areas that are written about all the time. There's areas that need to be addressed, and I think everyone internally is aware of that. And, you know, I've had discussions with them all the time, and they saw the players firsthand. I watched them on TV to get their, you know, their input, their insight on what they think they need to do. And I look at it and I said, sounds like maybe what I see here. And, but it's fun to be involved for people to exchange ideas freely and not be critical of one another. That's fun for me. The more input you get, the more input you can give to the ownership in going forward, trying to make decisions on a coach, future players, something for the fans. These fans deserve, they deserve a winning team. They have been so supportive. And you know, I remember as a player coming up here and playing against the Warriors, and a lot of the games were very closely contested, but I always remember how loyal the fans were up there. And they were good fans. They weren't fans who were particularly mean-spirited of the team. They were rooting for their home team.
So as you start this process, so day one today?
Well, actually, it's been about a week in my mind because, as I say, I'm kind of a deep thinker in terms of, you know, how do you get better. So I think the first thing I always look at is who are going to be the free agents, knowing that there's a possibility that we're going to have a new system in place. Who was someone that would fit with this team? But I think it has an awful lot to do with who coaches a team. A coach to some degree has to take the players who are already here and mold them into what he sees that can make them a better team.
You've been an outstanding player in this league. You've been a coach in this league and in the front office in a variety of different capacities. That sum of the body of work that you've had in the NBA, do you think that is your strongest suit coming to the Warriors?
You know, there's a real sensitivity, I think, from being a coach to being an executive. To me, I think one of the most crucial things that a team has to do, and particularly when you have a coach, I think you need great communication between the people in the front office in terms of the general manager, his staff, and I think it has to be open and candid. And I think when you hire people, you have to take that in consideration. Trust is a big issue, and you know, we don't sit out there every night subject to the barbs and criticism of writers and fans and sometimes players. But there has to be a great sensitivity to this because, you know, people, how many will there ever be a perfect season in basketball? No, there will never be one. And when you start winning a lot of games, you lose a game, it's like the end of the earth. And then you might turn around and win 4 or 5 games in a row or 6 games in a row and people forget it. But you have to remember that fans are fickle, writers are fickle, and so do the people who work with teams. They're fickle in the sense they only want to win. They only want to win. And I sense a real drive here from the ownership to his commitment and also to Peter's commitment that they want every night when a team goes out there, they want that team to have an opportunity to win games. And when you do that, it brings a great sense of community pride. The 49ers had it for years. They won all those championships. The Giants won last year. It's a feel-good. It's a feel-good thing for their fans. It really rallies people when things are not too good. You can rally around something really good, and I think that's what Joe and Peter's vision is for this team.
No question. It's one of the reasons that you're here, and I know I speak for Warrior fans. They won't mind me speaking for them to say that we're all excited that you're here. And it's been a pleasure and honor in chatting with you. I look forward to doing it many more times.
Well, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
That's Jerry West. I'm Tim Roye. For more coverage, click and roll here at Warriors.com.